only Mark Cerny. Without further ado, over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Jim.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
All right, man. So we just got done watching this PlayStation reveal / deep dive, so to speak. And spoiler alert, it was garbage.
Yeah, it was.
I'm here with the home
trash.
team. You know what I'm saying? It's hot trash.
Yo,
right?
honestly, I fell asleep watching this. I tried to keep awake, but it was so boring. Like Mark Cerny was sitting there telling, he spent almost the entire
15 minutes like explaining to us, like basically he was treating us like we're dumb.
Like we don't know what SSD is.
Yeah, he spent 15 minutes describing what an SSD is. It's like we know what it is. We're not stupid.
And that's not the worst part. The worst part was they literally talked so much about, they spend the entire time on an SSD and show us the performance of the SSD, and then talking about 3D audio, which we already know that was going to be on the PS5, as well as Xbox already have the 3D audio. So it was like one of those, like, you know, stale food that you had in the fridge for a while that you already like just say, hey, I'm about to heat up these leftovers kind of thing.
Yeah, man, it was literally 2 days old Chinese food that you sort of kind of forgot about.
Exactly.
He was like, well, I have nothing else at the crib, so I might as well put it in the microwave, reheat it, and eat it.
Like,
it's like what this was. This is a blatant like pimp slap towards not just the PlayStation community, just gamers in general, because everybody has been patiently waiting for Sony to show something, because Xbox has been heavily aggressive over the past couple of months. You know, I mean, they literally showed off the whole trailer at what was it? The Game Awards.
Yeah, the Video Game Awards. Xbox
Game
literally
Awards.
showed us the actual Xbox Series X in the trailer, and they wasn't so, you know, when Xbox did that, they weren't just, that didn't stop there either. Like Xbox was very prominent about showing off the Xbox Series X, as they was proud of it being a powerful console, as they claimed it and said it was. And their marketing just been straight gully. Like they've been bullying the entire time. You can see their Instagram, they've been posting up even all kinds of different pictures. They showed us the SSD drive. They had dropped the videos yesterday as well too, like talking about, like, they had tech demos, and they had
something that they did not have in this entire reveal, this deep dive reveal. First of all, how are you gonna have a deep dive reveal if you're not gonna reveal most of anything?
Exactly.
I mean, literally all they did was just confirm the rumors, which weren't much to begin with.
Facts.
So it's like, this wasn't even a reveal. I mean, you just basically, it was dumb. And the fact that they live streamed this event as if it was going to be something live, like live or actually.
Well, it was a pre-recorded
you know
event, you know, but I feel like even still, if they knew they was going to live stream it, they should at least have something that made fans really like worth seeing. Because this was just a slap in the face at this point, because everybody is, you know, mostly in quarantine, you know, in the home because this whole virus situation. Yeah. So everybody tuned in. Like mostly everybody was tuning into this.
They had over 60K people watching them live.
600K.
And everybody was pretty, everybody
almost
was pretty
a million
much
people
dead.
watching them live.
Like, bro, like honestly, everybody was sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. They didn't show anything. And just so you know, no, they did not show what the PS5 was going to look like. They didn't even show the PS5 logo this time. They didn't show anything. All they did was show the infrastructure. Well, not even that. They showed diagrams and basically like mathematical, technological theories on what it could be or what it could do, rather than show us the facts of what it is. Like, if anything, they spent more time explaining how they did stuff more than what like they actually did with it. It's like, oh yeah, you see, the way we created this is we use this and use that. It's like, we don't care how you did it. We want to know what it is and what it's capable of, so we know what the hell is this console. They didn't show anything. They didn't show any tech demos. We don't know anything about games. We don't know nothing.
Yeah, the common gamer don't even care about half of the stuff y'all talk about. They just want to know the price. They want to see how the games run, what game they're going to have for it, and of course, what's more importantly is what the console look like, which we do not know what it looks like. We just know the PS5 logo. That's about it.
It's honestly ridiculous, man. I mean, they spent 15 minutes talking about SSDs. They spent another 10 minutes on like audio ray tracing, and they spent the next 30 minutes just on audio features that nobody cares for, or we even saw already. Like the whole event just needed to be thrown away. In fact, I feel like Sony should have just not made this event at all. And people, honestly, to the people who are trying to defend this, be like, oh, well, it's a deep dive. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not going to show their console, whatever. First of all, okay, let's go with that theory that, okay, it's just, it's just a deep dive, not supposed to show too much or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, if that's the case, they could have easily dropped like a 5 to 8 to 10 minute video explaining the infrastructure rather than a whole hour of just jargon that nobody cares about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
At this point, it's clearly the Xbox is more powerful than the PS5. That's another thing too, because when they was talking about the specs, man, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, if you put side by side, the Xbox Series X is literally killing the PS5 at this point. So they both have they're using Ryzen CPU, as we all know.
Custom.
8X Zen 2 cores, but Xbox Series X is clocked at 3.8 gigahertz with a 3.6 gigahertz with SMT, which is smart multi-threading. Now the PS5 has an 8-core Zen 2 cores at 3.5 gigahertz variable frequency. So they don't even have an actual set frequency of what the actual CPU can run at, which is crazy. Then it gets even more interesting as we go into the GPU spectrum on the teraflops. So Xbox Series X is going to have 12 teraflops with 52 CUs at 1.825 gigahertz, while the PS5 is going to have 10.28 teraflops with 36 CUs clocked at 2.23 gigahertz with variable frequency. And it just keeps going and going.
And they also said the worst case scenario is that it would run out at a lower clock speed for the PS5, which is bad.
That's crazy.
That's pretty bad.
And it gets worse because we're not even done yet. Now we're going to the memory. Now they both have the 16 gig GDR6 memory, while the PS5 have the 16 GDR6 with a 25/6 bit. Now here's
similar
the
to
memory.
The X1 to the Series X.
Yeah, more than the Series X. And now here's the memory bandwidth: 10 gigabyte at 560 gigs, with a 6 gig at 360 gigabytes versus the 448 gigabytes. So that's memory bandwidth. So again, Xbox got them beat there. And here we go with the internal storage. Okay, that's something that they spend the almost entire reveal talking about. So you have Xbox Series X is going to have a 1 terabyte custom NVMe SSD, while the PS5 is going to have a custom 825 gigabyte SSD. So
that's significantly lower.
Just give me a terabyte. You want to give me 825 but not a full terabyte? Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, we are going to have some, but it's going to be, cast away for others. Listen, they made the PS5 very complex when it didn't need to be.
I mean, all I got to say is this wasn't even a reveal. In fact, what this was an hour-long presentation pimp slapping the entire gaming community. That's what this was. It was complete embarrassment. I mean, Sony literally embarrassed themselves. They were literally looking like Xbox did back in E3 2013.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did. Yeah. They shot themselves in the foot live on air.
And when people really said they had PS3 flashbacks, I felt it too. I ain't gonna lie. When Sony wasn't really talking as much or tweeting as much or trying to throw shots at Microsoft, I was like, this is feel like PS3 all over again.
Because as we all know, Sony is a very, very confident and cocky company, which obviously if they have the secret sauce, they make sure to know that it's not so secret. They blab on the internet, they be like, we have this, we have that, we have this. For this generation, radio silence, you know what I'm saying? Despite the whole, pandemic thing that we're going under, Xbox is continuously pushing out new news pretty much every single week at this point. I mean, They literally, a few days ago, they just dropped what was it? What should we call it? spec demos on
Oh yeah,
the
there's a
latest
lot of
games.
tech
You know what I'm
demos
saying?
out
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot of
if you
tech
go to
demos.
Xbox, they got a whole lot of stuff. They showing you how they actually demonstrate the loading times.
They demonstrate the loading
actual
times,
showed you
and-
guys a video.
And they also have what is it? Smart resume.
Smart resume feature.
So yeah, and like they literally showed up to like 5 games that just instantly loads, just boots up
Simultaneously. You could just go to each game.
as if like you literally just opened it, and it's ridiculous. But again, PS5, they didn't reveal any new features. They didn't review any new anything. All they did was recite everything that we already knew about the console. So technically, it's not a reveal.
Exactly. One thing is I found very weird that I haven't seen is that they haven't even talked about smart delivery, which is something that Xbox already confirmed, as well as Cyberpunk, when they said that if you buy a game on the Xbox, you can automatically get a upgraded version for the next gen console on the
Which,
Xbox Series X.
speaking of backwards capability, which is confirmed that they're going to have backwards capability for PS4, but here's the kicker: they accidentally, and like I say accidentally because this seems really bad for PR for the PS5, because yes, they are going to have backwards capability for the PS4. But Mark Cerny himself, but PS4 games on PS5. What I'm saying is, yeah, Mark Cerny already confirmed that they're going to have that. And he said that they tested at least like the top 100 games that were played on PS4. But he said only most of them would play on launch, meaning that not all your PS4 games will be able to play on the PS5 on launch, which is terrible.
That's a problem.
Which is what Microsoft has. You literally get to play all your catalogs dating back to 3 generations of Xbox. You got the Xbox One, 360, and the OG Xbox original. Day one. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, it's ridiculous.
It's not looking too good because we don't know nothing about. We're literally blind at this point. You guys and everyone, all the gamers is about to pre-order, or even not even pre-order, just buy a console they know nothing about. Haven't even seen what it looks like. No controllers. Like Xbox even have a picture of the controller. You guys can actually see the controller, see what it looks like. It's similar to the Xbox.
It's not even
it's
that.
Different.
Like they literally, Xbox has a whole entire thread on their website on the specs of the X as well as the features and stuff that are coming to it. So the fact that it's supposed to be a deep dive reveal of the PS5, despite them not releasing any new information on the new features and bells and whistles, that it's trash, honestly. Like, again, like if anything, we know less than we ever did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
At this point, I can see why a lot of people are going to make up their own, like, their own like rumors, because Sony really didn't tell you much of anything. All we know, this entire PS5 reveal has just been strictly talked about. Hey, how fast our SSD runs,
which I already knew.
What is an SSD? Which is crazy. You're telling gamers what's an SSD drive? Like, that's insane.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you try to break down 3D audio, like that's
3D
something
audio,
like,
which is what Xbox already
fastly
said they're
new.
gonna have.
Or like Xbox, come on, like
First of all, 3D audio has been a thing since 2016,
they had that in
2017.
movie theaters already.
Not even that. It's just Adobe Atmos, which you can buy on the Xbox.
Which
One
also
X
is on
as well.
Xbox. Yeah, the
That's what I'm
Xbox
saying.
One
Like,
X. What are we doing?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
I don't know. And it's like, listen, Sony has been completely like radio silent for at least a good, like, I would say 6 months, if not a year and a half, because they canceled E3, but even though that's canceled, but before it was canceled, they canceled E3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They canceled all other gaming events before they were shut down. And they finally have their own stage, their own platform to, show what the PS5 is capable of, and then they just pull this move. I mean, literally, all Sony did was just debate the internet yet again.
Get debated. Get debated.
It's ridiculous, and it's like for the people who said like, "Oh, I don't care, I'm still buying a PS4, I'm still buying a PS5." Nobody's saying that you can't buy a PS5. Nobody's saying the PS5 is not gonna have good games.
Right.
The problem,
it's still gonna be a good console. Like,
but the problem is we know nothing about it. So again, it's like, what are you basing that off of? What, the success of the PS4? Well, let me tell you something. Sony is known to be in a cycle. where it's like they have a success from one console, and then they get too level-headed, they get too cocky and big-headed, and then next thing you know, the next console just automatically flops. Hence why the PS3 was a complete disaster. In fact, Mark Cerny himself, Mark Cerny himself, it took 3 to 6 months for games to get developed on there, which is exactly why the third-party support was heavily on the Xbox 360. It wasn't that Xbox was buying all these exclusive contracts, timed exclusive with different companies. It's the fact that these companies had no other alternative simply because the PlayStation ecosystem was just too complex and too outdated for them to code for, which is why it took them longer. And it seems like it's going to be the same when it comes to just the overall formula of the PlayStation 3. Is like, again, we know nothing about the console. It's supposed to come out later this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know.
It's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. This is a sad day for gaming. I don't know what to say. That was a waste of time. You guys could have hold on to that live stream. Really, I could have just hold it and move along. But
honestly, the way I see it, this literally kills all hype for PS5 for me, especially.
It really did for me. Definitely.
Because it's like this. It's like, yes, I prefer Xbox, and it's been that way for a long time now. But competition is always good, and PlayStation 5 as of right now is not a competition for the Xbox One X, for the Xbox Series X. Simply because we know nothing about it. If you go on X, literally the comparison between Series X news and PS4 news is a direct comparison to night and day. We know virtually nothing about the PS5. All we know is that it's supposedly coming out later this year. It has a logo and you can pre-order it, despite not knowing how it looks or what the hell the console even is.
Yeah,
whereas
that's kind of weird.
Xbox, we know we're gonna have all our games, available on launch, backwards capability, as well as we're gonna have a smart delivery, which means if you buy a game on Xbox One, that'll instantly port over to the Series copy.
Yeah,
the Series
smart
X
delivery.
copy.
That's something
Smart
that
delivery.
I wanted them to say, but we didn't hear anything.
As well as faster loading times, and even the controller. They didn't even say anything about a controller throughout the whole entire 1 hour event. But Xbox literally says that it has a lower input delay. That automatically makes a huge drastic difference. What does the PS5 controller have? We don't know. We haven't even seen the controller.
Right.
It's ridiculous, man.
I don't know if they got a console. We don't know.
I don't see how you can be hyped for a console you know virtually nothing about. Honestly, that's just fanboyism at this point. I mean, it's like, yes, you can like your PlayStation ecosystem. That's fine, But it's like, again, you can't be hyped for something that doesn't exist at this point. You know what I'm saying?